Welcome to this layoff assistance presentation created specifically for the employees of Hamilton County Coal Mine Number 1 in Dahlgren, Illinois. The following presentation has been created to assist you in locating important information about your layoff and guide you to your next steps in accessing benefits. This presentation will provide specific information about services available to you as a dislocated worker and also provide contact information for all of the presenters. This presentation also includes information on healthcare benefits and unemployment filing information. Our goal is to provide you with the information you need to access services and benefits during this time of transition. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Brown, and I am with the Illinois Department of Commerce, Office of Employment and Training. Welcome to this presentation, which has been created for workers laid off from the Hamilton County Coal Mine in Dahlgren. This presentation is designed to assist you in assessing relevant information and important resources and links to available services. As you can see on the screen, the four agencies listed on the agenda are combining today to bring you information on benefits that you are eligible to apply for as a dislocated worker. They will be presenting important information in the order that you see on the agenda. These benefits are available to you and have already been paid for with your own tax dollars. There is one benefit, however, that your former employer has paid for, and this is your unemployment insurance benefit. You will receive more information regarding this benefit a little later in the presentation. Let me share a little bit about the law that governs workforce benefits. It is called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or WIOA for short. It is called an act because it's an act of Congress, simply meaning that it's a federal law. WIOA provides services for adults, youth, dislocated workers, and spouses of dislocated workers. So what is a dislocated worker? A dislocated worker is an employee who will be laid off or has already been laid off from their employment through no fault of their own. Once you reach your official separation date from your company, which is your last official work day, you will become a dislocated worker. Eligibility for services will then be determined by the expert folks that are going to be speaking with you in just a few moments. It is important to know that you have a window of eligibility starting with your separation date and extending to the hiring date of your next job. During this time, you can utilize WIOA services, which may include training, for example. Training means the opportunity to return to school at no cost to yourself in order to learn a new skill and obtain credentials to assist you in finding new employment in order to meet your personal and financial needs. Other options, such as work-based learning opportunities, are also available. The next presenter will talk more about work-based learning options, and together we will work toward a plan that supports your personal and reemployment goals. So there's a common theme here today, and it is that you are not alone in facing this reemployment challenge. We encourage you to connect with us right away in order to learn more about the services and how to access your benefits. We are here to support you, but you have to take the first step, make that first call, and you will then be on your way to discovering all the benefits awaiting you as a dislocated worker. You will want to write down the link at the bottom of the screen that will lead you directly to the Illinois workNet page that's been specifically designed for the impacted workers of the Hamilton County Coal Mine. This link provides a number of resources to help you on your journey to reemployment. Thank you for your time today, and on behalf of the Illinois Department of Commerce, we extend to each of you our very best wishes as you continue on your journey to reemployment. The next presenter, Pam Barbie from your local workforce area, will provide information on how to access dislocated worker services and benefits. And now here's Miss Barbie.
First, you're not alone. We're all here to help guide you throughout this change. I'm Pam Barbie from the Southern 14 Workforce Investment Board, and I'm here to point you towards your local resources. For some of you, this will be the perfect opportunity for you to change careers. And to do that, you may need some additional training. The first step to start on this journey is to make an appointment to speak with one of our career planners. They'll help you get started and be your cheerleader throughout your training. If you choose this avenue, our program will pay for the cost of not only your tuition, books, and fees, but also supportive services such as transportation assistance or child care assistance to help you be successful on your journey. We realize that not everyone wants or needs traditional classroom training. For those, we have paid hands-on work-based training available. Maybe you welded in the mine and can transition those skills to a new manufacturing company with just a little OJT, on-the-job training. In that situation, your career planner would work with a local company to have you work in their facility and gain those skills. This benefits you since the employer may consider someone who didn't necessarily have all the skills and qualifications that they were initially looking for. The OJT, the participant is being trained on those skills that they didn't previously have, and they're receiving a paycheck at the same time as everyone else. The expectation is at the end of the training, they'll be a permanent full-time employee. Your change in situation doesn't just affect you, your whole family's now dislocated. For those of you who have a non-working spouse who depends on your income, your spouse may also be eligible for our program. It just might be the perfect opportunity for them to re-enter or to enter a new career. We're here to help them as well. Those of you who have college-age children, your child may also be eligible for our services. Remember to mention either of these situations to your career planner. Also, since your income has changed, remember to let your child's training institution know of the change. The college may have some additional services, such as refiling your Pell Grant, to aid your family. For those of you who've served in the military, first, thank you for your service. Be sure to let your career planner know of your status. Our program gives priority of service to veterans and their eligible spouses. If you're just not sure where to go from here, don't worry. That's more common than you think. Our career planners will work beside you to help make suggestions and provide information and be the general guide throughout this whole process. If you just want to go back to work, they can also offer assistance with resume, interview skills, and job search just to assist you. Please reach out to us. If you live in Edwards, Gallatin, Hamilton, Saline, Wabash, Wayne, or White counties, your contact will be Wabash Area Development. They can be reached at 618-963-6187. If you live in Alexander, Hardin, Johnson, Massac, Pope, Pulaski, or Union counties, your contact will be Shawnee Development Council. They can be reached at 618-634-2201. If you live in Franklin, Jackson, Jefferson, Perry, Williamson counties, your contact will be Mantricon Corporation. They can be reached at 618-998-0970. If you live in any other county, or you're not a resident of Illinois, you can find the office nearest you at www.illinoisworknet.com, or you can always call my office at 618-382-5024. Before I close, I would like to make a suggestion. When you receive the separation letter from your employer and any correspondence from the Illinois Department of Employment Security that's IDES, make sure you keep it. This validates the layoff and will be used as documentation to enroll you in the services and resources you and your family may need. In closing, I do want to encourage you to contact one of our offices, no matter what next step may be. Remember, we're all here to help you.
for Medicaid or the All Kids Insurance Program through the state of Illinois. And so be sure to contact the state of Illinois Department of Insurance and get more information about that. Now, if anyone has a pension plan, make sure you know how to contact the plan administrator. Make sure you keep your address updated with the plan, and make sure you have a copy of the summary plan description, also known as the SPD, which will tell you when you can receive your benefit. So normal retirement age is 65. An employer, a pension plan may allow you to take a pension at an earlier date, like 62, but usually you would be penalized 6% for every year before you turn 65. So just think about that. This only applies to pension plans. In regards to your 401k plan, you have 4 options. You can get a lump sum distribution and pay the taxes. You can roll it over into an IRA. You can keep your account where it is. And then sometimes a new employer will allow you to roll over your account into their account, but it's only if the new employer allows it. I strongly recommend that you roll it over into an IRA so that you'll know where your money is. You won't have to worry about the market or anything like that. And then if you have any other questions, this is our contact information. It's contact information from EPSA for EBSA, our website, and then the marketplace, healthcare.gov, and then the phone numbers there. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for listening to me.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm with the Illinois Department of Employment Security. Here to talk to you a little bit about the unemployment insurance. The first thing to know is that unemployment insurance is administered by the state of Illinois. It's based on taxes that the employers pay. So as an employee, you have not paid into the unemployment insurance system. That's an important distinction. Unlike some of the programs that you've just heard about, those were all taxpayer-funded programs, so we certainly highly encourage you to take advantage of those. You've paid for those with your tax dollars. When you go back to work, you're going to continue to pay for those with your tax dollars, so by all means, take advantage of those. And then, of course, the unemployment insurance benefit is something you should take advantage of as well. Just know that that is not something that you've paid into with your taxes. Let's see here. My next slide, there we go. In order to receive unemployment insurance benefits, there are what are called non-monetary and monetary eligibility requirements. So the first non-monetary eligibility requirement that you should be aware of is that you must be involuntarily unemployed or underemployed. Regardless, what is important to know is that you must be involuntarily unemployed. So if you were to leave your job before your employer releases you, then you're no longer involuntarily unemployed. If you were to be fired for cause before then, you're no longer involuntarily unemployed. So be sure to pay close attention to that. With regard to the eligibility requirements, it shows there on the screen, you must have earned $1,600 in a quarter, and then an additional $440 in a separate quarter. So basically for 2019, if you're going to be filing next week, there's a crossover period right now, but let's assume you file next week or the week after. We're going to be looking at your 2019 income, and during one 3-month period you must have earned $1,600, and during another 3-month period you must have earned $440. It says right there what every worker should know about unemployment insurance. There is a handout available to you electronically that covers the eligibility requirements, so that will be on your company page as well. Oop, went a little too fast there. There are different amounts that individuals receive for their unemployment insurance benefit based on their prior earnings. So again, we're looking at your base period and those quarters, and there's a lot of details and information regarding that. But the important thing to know is that there are minimums and maximums, and that's for your individual, what's called a weekly benefit amount. There's also something called a dependent allowance. You're allowed a single dependent allowance, either a non-working spouse or a child under the age of 18. And it is a single dependent, so even if you had 3 or 4 or 10 children, you're only allowed a single dependent allowance for your child. And they typically recommend that when you're filing your claim, you would put the information in for your youngest child because they will obviously age out last. So if you were to put your oldest child and then file another claim in 3 years and that child was no longer 18, you would have lost that benefit, and you would need to put in another child at that point. So just pay attention to that. Unemployment insurance benefits are for 26 weeks. Now, I should say with the maximum benefit amounts and this 26 weeks, there is a lot of conversation regarding federal stimulus, and I'm going to postpone any discussion of that. Right now, we're talking about the standard law as it applies. So typically, the maximum is 26 weeks of unemployment insurance in a given 1-year period. So for more information, in the middle of this screen, it gives the website. So this is for the Illinois Department of Employment Security, www.ides.illinois.gov. And that is the place you should go for the most current information regarding not only your claims in a general sense, but also anything as it relates to federal stimulus or COVID-19. There are announcements up there with regard to additional monies and things like that. So I'd have to refer you to any of those because the information is changing fairly rapidly and being updated. So I want you to be sure of that. So and that is also where you would file for unemployment online at that website. You can also, in normal circumstances, come into the local office and we will assist you filing online there. But of course, our offices are closed during this period. So the alternative would be to call Claimant Services at 1-800-244-5631. Now, when you should file. You file your unemployment claim during your first week of being unemployed. So another way to look at it would just be to file it after your first day of separation. So if you're still employed, you are not allowed to file yet, but if today was your last day, then you could file tomorrow, and you want to do that as soon as possible. During this period of high volume of unemployment claims, Illinois has implemented a schedule based on the first letter of your last name. So depending on whether you're filing online or over the phone, we're asking you to follow the schedule. Again, this presentation is recorded, but this schedule is also available when you go to the IDES website. So here's an image of the IDES website. You'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, there is a orange box that says sign in to my account and a drop-down menu that says select one. And you would simply select that you are filing a claim. It's the first option, file my unemployment insurance claim. And again, this same website, right on the splash screen, they give all the information on COVID-19 updates. Before you file, though, you will need to collect and gather up some information. So we need to do a verification of your Social Security number and your driver's license or other state ID. When you are entering that information in, it asks you whether you're using a state ID or your driver's license. And then you need to enter in the information exactly as it appears if you've selected driver's license, then exactly as it appears in your driver's license. They actually do a confirmation with the Secretary of State. So, if your weight has changed, that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in the weight as it's listed on that piece of identification. And if you put anything else in, it's going to fail the verification test. So please be sure to enter that information correctly. You'll want to gather up the names, addresses, phone numbers, and amounts of times that you worked for any employer over the last 18 months, any pension or retirement payments that you're receiving, not including Social Security. And if you would like to be paid via direct deposit, you will also want to have your bank routing, bank account number and the routing number so that you can enter that information at the end of the claim. I mentioned that you're allowed a dependent allowance if you have a non-working spouse or a child under the age of 18. So you'll want their information, including a Social Security number, if you're going to be claiming a dependent. So after you file for that unemployment claim, you're going to want to go to illinoisjoblink.com and complete registration. And what that means is that you will need to activate a resume on that website. When you file your unemployment insurance claim, it's going to create an account in Illinois JobLink for you, typically. The very last screen of your claim, of your unemployment insurance claim, again, this is when you're on the IDES website, it will give you a confirmation number. It'll give you your UI, that's unemployment insurance claimant identification number. And then it will also give you your Illinois JobLink user ID. And again, that's a different website. So then you would go to illinoisjoblink.com and enter in that user ID. If this is your first time filing, the password will be your Social Security number. And then it'll have you update that the first time you log in. If you've filed before and have an existing Illinois JobLink account, it's going to request that you have that same password that you used however long ago it was. If you don't know that, you'll need to contact the Illinois JobLink help desk, and they'll be able to reset or assist you in resetting your password. Once that is completed, and again, you will want to complete that within about a week, or as quickly as possible. You will also be receiving in the mail a UI finding letter. So all the information that you're going to receive from the Illinois Department of Employment Security is going to come via mail first, and they are all considered legal documents. So please don't just let those pile up in your junk mail. Open them, read them, and understand them as soon as you receive them. Your UI finding letter is a very important piece of information. It's going to include a summary of the wages that we see being attributed to you over the last 18 months, essentially, in your base period. And based on those, we're going to also show and report your weekly benefit amount, including any dependent allowance you're going to have, and then your maximum benefit amount, which is a balance, essentially. What they're going to do is take that weekly benefit amount, not including the dependent allowance, just your weekly benefit amount, multiply that by 26, and that's going to be your balance. It's also going to include a certification date. Again, I'll cover certifying in just a moment, but you do that every 2 weeks while you're on unemployment insurance benefits. And it will include a statement as to whether or not you've elected to receive your money via direct deposit. If you have not elected to receive your money via direct deposit, you will receive it via a debit card. So when you file for unemployment insurance benefits, it will provide you with a debit card in the mail, and you'll need to activate that and then your money would be deposited there. We do not mail out checks any longer. So then you will also be responsible for recording your work search. So I'll show a little bit about that now. Through IllinoisJobLink.com, again, you will be posting an active resume and that will complete your registration. This is an image of Illinois JobLink. Again, it's a different website than IDES. In the upper right-hand corner, that is the login button. Be sure not to create an additional Illinois JobLink account. There can only be one with your Social Security number. So it will prevent you from creating another one with your Social Security number. However, there is an option to create one without a Social Security number because this is free to use for anyone in the state. You don't have to be an unemployment claimant. But if you are, the unemployment system is going to check Illinois JobLink based on your Social Security number to make sure you have that active resume. And if it doesn't see it in that account, you will not get paid. So again, you're required to keep a record of your work search. If you look for jobs in Illinois JobLink, while logged in, of course, it will keep a record of your work search for you. Of course, it's only going to keep a record of things that you've done while in Illinois JobLink. It will not keep a record of interviews or phone conversations or emails outside of Illinois JobLink, but you can manually enter those into Illinois JobLink or use the IDES work search form. So you can see on the screen here, on the left, there is an official IDES work search form. You can get those on the IDES website and print them out. You can fill that out online, or again, when our offices reopen, you can stop in and we can provide you with paper copies of that. Or on the right side of your screen, there is Illinois JobLink, and it keeps track of any job search activity you do within Illinois JobLink. Either record is acceptable. You are required to keep those records for up to 53 weeks. And if you're audited, you'd be required to fax in that information. Otherwise, you may be required to pay back your unemployment payments. I had mentioned that your UI finding letter, again, it will have your first certification date listed on there, and it will tell you whether that certification day is a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Everyone is assigned a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to certify. Certifying is the act of getting back in touch with the state of Illinois and answering about 10 or 11 questions based on the prior 2 weeks. It's essentially the way we determine whether or not you're eligible to be paid for that 2-week period. So this is different than the high volume claim filing that I mentioned earlier. This is a process that everyone needs to participate in every 2 weeks, and you're again going to be assigned a Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. You are paid about 48 hours after you do your certification. So if your certification day is a Monday, you're always a Monday. You're not eligible to do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. It will reject your certification if you try. But if you do it on Monday, then you will be paid typically on Wednesday unless there's a holiday. Again, same if you're a Wednesday. If you're a Wednesday, it will not allow you to do it on Monday or Tuesday. You have to do it on Wednesday. Fortunately, Thursdays and Fridays are makeup days. The downside is, of course, that you would not be paid until the next week because of the waiting 48 hours. When you do certify for benefits, you can either do it on the IDES website or by calling an automated phone system called Teleserve. And if you have access to a computer, doing it online on the IDES website is much easier. You'll use the same username and password that you use to file your claim. But if you don't have access, you can obviously utilize the Teleserve, and instructions on those both systems are in the handouts, the electronic handouts that we've provided that will be up on the company page as well. In normal circumstances, you are not paid for your first week of your claim. It's called a waiting week. So it actually takes, the first time you certify, you're certifying for 2 weeks, but you're only paid for 1. It's not any money you've lost. You still have your full 26 weeks of benefits. It's just that first week is not paid out. At this time, it appears as though that's going to be waived as part of the federal stimulus package. But again, I'll defer to the IDES website for more information on that. I mentioned already the best ways to certify. If you have questions regarding any of these processes, you can contact the IDES Claimant Services at 1-800-244-5631. Wait times currently are very high due to the number of people filing for unemployment at this time. But just know that you can contact them and they will assist you. So I mentioned a couple of things to recap. To be eligible for unemployment insurance benefits, you must be involuntarily unemployed. When you certify, I had mentioned that there's going to be about 10 or 11 questions they're going to ask. The 3 of the most important questions are you able, available, and actively seeking work? So unemployment insurance payments are not sick pay. So if you are not able to work, you are not able to receive your unemployment insurance payment for that day or week or whatever period of time you're unable to work. You know, if you were in the hospital, unfortunately, with a broken leg, you could still look for a job, of course. You could even conduct a phone interview from your hospital bed, but unfortunately, you're not able to work, and so you would be ineligible to be paid for that day. Once again, COVID-19, there are exceptions carved out for COVID-19 illnesses. Illinois unemployment insurance benefits are not vacation pay. So if you are unavailable, if you're not within a commuting distance of your home, you would not be paid for that day or that week or that month or whatever period you're not at your home. The able and available are not penalties. You don't lose that money. They stay in your balance and they're available to you later. The final of the 3 A's is actively seeking work. You must be actively seeking work. I mentioned you can either record your work search via Illinois Job Link or on an IDES work search form. That's a yes or no question. If you answer yes, you receive your payment. If you answer no, you do not. But again, if you answer yes, you must have that record. I must stress again that you want to have an active resume on Illinois Job Link before you begin your certification. So make sure you do that within about 7 days of filing for your unemployment insurance benefits. The waiting week is part of the standard unemployment insurance law in Illinois, but again, there are exceptions that are occurring at this point. One last thing, you are eligible to work part-time and still receive your unemployment insurance benefits without deduction, as long as you earn less than 50% of your weekly benefit amount. Again, this is your weekly benefit amount, not your dependent allowance, not the total, just your weekly benefit amount. So if, for example, your weekly benefit amount was $200, you could earn $100 working part-time and still receive your full $200 weekly benefit amount. If you earned more than your than 50% of your weekly benefit amount, 1 week, maybe you earned $120. You went $20 over that hypothetical $200, so that week you would only receive $180 in your weekly benefit amount. You did not lose that $20, it stays in your balance, so it's always to your benefit if you choose to work part-time. So again, I want to stress that everything that IDES sends you through the mail is a legal document, so please take care to read each piece of mail. And the unemployment insurance, or the employment services that were discussed earlier are available to you immediately, but the unemployment insurance itself cannot be filed until your separation date from your company. Thank you very much.